I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. The investigation began when police in Saugerties got a complaint from a parent that a man was sending their 14-year-old daughter sexually explicit messages through Facebook and text messaging. Detectives then assumed the role of the victim, and the sexually explicit messages continued from a man who police identified as 29-year-old Kevin Bach of Saugerties. Police say Bach eventually began sending photos of his genitals, believing he was still communicating with the 14-year-old. He then pressed to meet the girl for a sexual encounter under a bridge on Burnett Road in the town of Saugerties. Police set up their sexting sting there, and when Bach arrived, he found detectives waiting for him. He's been charged with the felonies of disseminating indecent material to minors and attempted dissemination of indecent material to minors. Elsewhere, a Harriman teenager charged with raping a 15-year-old girl at a party in Chester back in June was arraigned today on a first-degree rape charge. An attorney representing 16-year-old Devon Williams entered a not guilty plea in Orange County Court. Prosecutors say Williams sexually assaulted the girl after she became intoxicated and passed out. Bail for Devon Williams was set at $10,000 cash and $50,000 bond. Will the Village of Bloomingburg be absorbed into the town of Mamakating? Well, tomorrow the village board is expected to set a date for a local referendum that would put the village of about 400 residents under the jurisdiction of the town and its tougher zoning regulations if it's passed. The vote has been tentatively scheduled for September 30th. Members of the Rural Community Coalition mounted the petition drive to force of the vote. The organization has been a vocal opponent to developer Shalom Lamb's 396-home Hasidic development in Bloomingburg. Those in favor of dissolving the village government say it's too small to handle major development issues. Mayor Frank Girardi, along with the 3 Bloomingburg Village Board members, all signed the referendum vote petition. Officials from 3 western Sullivan County communities want permission to do preemptive work on local streams so they can lessen future damage from or prevent the type of flash flood devastation done during severe storms that roared through earlier this month, causing close to $3 million in damage in the towns of Delaware and Callicoon and the village of Jeffersonville. The Region State Senator John Bonasek says he's hopeful the communities will get the financial assistance they desperately need.
The DEC seem to be cooperative. They seem open to suggestion of stream maintenance and working with the communities. I thought it was a good meeting. But more importantly, those 3 municipalities, they need help. The preliminary numbers are close to $3 million. We need the governor to make a determination that there's been substantial damage to those communities, both to infrastructure, residents, and businesses. If the governor makes that determination, then these communities can apply to SEMA for grants to restore and get back on their feet.
While they wait for word on funding help, officials in those communities also hope to get the go-ahead to do stream maintenance work that they say would ultimately save money for the towns and village and the state. Took 7 years, but legislation's been passed in Albany that would give fire departments across the state the ability to prohibit membership to convicted sex offenders. Today, the head of the State Firemen's Association, James Burns, was at the Rock Hill Firehouse to join local firefighters and the region state representatives to hail passage of the bill and to urge the governor to sign it into law. Currently, departments are only able to conduct a criminal background check to find those potential members who've been convicted of arson.
It standardizes the process, which is a very important thing throughout the state of New York. This was a long time coming. It was somewhat difficult to pass, to get people on board, but with the help of James Burns, talking to the volunteer fire companies throughout New York State, we're able to do it, and now we're urging Governor Cuomo to please sign it into law.
We're on a major recruitment program for the last 3 years, and we've been very successful in getting 12,000 new members across the state, but we don't have the tools to weed out the people that we don't want, and this will help us to eliminate those people from joining our ranks.
Senator Bonasek says the legislation would also give local fire departments the ability to avoid potential lawsuits. He cited the 2010 conviction of Richard Latham, a Cortland County man and volunteer firefighter for sexually abusing 2 young boys. Burns says the legislation's important since firefighters routinely interact with children and others who are in vulnerable situations. And what does an old TV, a chair, a bed spring, and a whole bunch of beverage containers and old tires have in common? Well, they were part of a big trash pile that could be seen on the shore of the Delaware River near Matamoros this morning. It's what volunteers cleaned out of the river over the past 2 days during the 25th annual Delaware River Cleanup, sponsored by Kittatinny Canoes. The river cleanup began at the Kittatinny Campground in Berryville Monday. Day 2 brought volunteers to the Dingman's Ferry area. Robert Leduc of Toms River, New Jersey, has been a cleanup volunteer for the past 24 years, along with his wife, children, and now grandchildren.
I've enjoyed the river. I do scout camp up this way. We were on the river rescue team with the National Canoe Safety Patrol with the National Park Service for many years. It's just such a beautiful area, and we just want to kind of give back. Trying to teach our kids. We've got 5 children. They've all been here till they grew up and got married and moved away. That we want to give service and just try to help the environment and take care of what nature's provided for us.
And if you think this river debris pile is discouraging, Leduc says the Delaware has actually gotten cleaner over the years.
It's still disappointing, but the river's gotten so clean now that they've managed to shorten the time that we're on the river with the cleanup. The earlier years there was just so much garbage out here, but all the volunteers and Kittatinny Canoes have just done such a wonderful job cleaning up the river that it's hard to find garbage, which we feel guilty not coming in with canoes filled with garbage, but we're glad we can't find it.
According to Kittatinny officials, in the past 24 years, 8,547 tires, 8,544 pounds of aluminum cans, and 440 total tons of trash have been removed from this stretch of the Delaware. Our weather will get better in the next couple of days once we weather the threat of strong storms tonight. Tomorrow will be partly sunny and a bit more comfortable, with temperatures Thursday topping out in the low 80s. Friday will be mostly sunny and pleasant, with the highs again in the 80 to 85 degree range. We'll get the information you need and the features you enjoy each day in the Times-Herald Record. And breaking news is always just a click away right here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.